I just don't remember the others. I hope nobody's here from that competition. I didn't really mean that. She has been a mentor to young skaters forever. She descended upon Scott Hamilton after he won the junior championships and said that he was going to have to turn professional at that time because he just had no money. However, she, along with Carlo, found him Helen McLaren. Now, Scott's mother, on hearing that Helen McLaren was going to pay for things, said, "My son is not for sale." Nancy convinced her that that wasn't what was intended. She was chairperson for the 1979 Nationals and the World Championships in '87. She's the first woman to become a member of the board of directors of the U.S. Figure Skating Association. None too soon, I might add. And she was an honorary. She is an honorary ISU judge, and she was given a special award by the ISU in 1988 in Budapest for her conducting of the 1987 World Championship as one of the most successful events ever. Nancy Meiss.
I hope I can get through this. I am humbled, and I realize there's so many other people that deserve this honor, and I thank everyone for giving it to me. I want to acknowledge my fans, my friends, and most of all, my family.
Yes!
Tony,
Woo!
Bill, and Don Scherzer.
Oh my God, she said her name right.
They
She did.
have seen me through all of this. And I think sometimes they think my skating came first. This is not true. My family will always come first. And they have been wonderful. All three. I started in the Chicago Figure Skating Club. I was 12 years old. How I started, someone asked. My father had a secretary that had been with him for years. And one day she said, "Mr. Keller, will you do me a favor?" And he said, "Of course I will. What do you want?" And she said, "Mr. Harry Radix has bought the Chicago Arena, and we figure skate. And I'd like you to join the Chicago Figure Skating Club." And my father looked at her and said, "I thought you liked me for a boss all these years. You want to kill me?" So Miss O'Connor said, "Oh no, you join as a family member. Nancy is very athletic. She loves sports. You never have to put on a pair of skates, but she can join the junior club of the Chicago Figure Skating Club." And so this is how I began to skate. Well, I found out that all these people skated at 6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, they went to school. Well, I thought I could skate at 6 o'clock in the morning too. But I found myself skating with people like Slavka Button, Skippy Baxter, all the boys of this Hall of Fame, and they were so good. And they said to me, "My goodness." And I found this a very difficult sport. And in those days, I was told, if you could pass your second figure test, you could get your gold medal in dance. And I was a counselor at this camp, and my beloved Harry was also a counselor at this camp. Excuse me. Well, next chapter in my life came Harry. And oh my, I was just wild about Harry.
Yes! Woo! Oh, I love her. Oh my gosh.
Harry asked me if I would marry him, and it was the end of 2 months at the summer camp. So Harry, I have to think about that. Is there a skating rink in Cincinnati? I don't know, but I'll find out. Well, there wasn't a skating rink in Cincinnati, but I decided he was well worth giving up skating. So we got married, and my folks kept an out-of-town membership for me in the Chicago Figure Skating Club. When I went home, I went skating. And two of my mentors in going up and judging is Harry Keeley, who's a past president of the U.S. skating. I can't get those initials out right now. And I admired their skating so much. Well, 10 years later, there was an arena built in Cincinnati. And the club was formed, and there was a test session. So my Harry said, aren't you going, it was in the newspaper, there was going to be this test session. And he said, aren't you going down? Look, Mrs. Drake and Harry Keeley are going to be here as judges. Oh, I don't think I want to do that. Oh, I think you should go down and say hello to them. So I went down, and they said, why aren't you on the ice practicing? We don't know any of these people practicing judging on the ice. Who are they? And I said, oh no, I don't think they skate that much, but I guess they want to be judges. Well, you must become a judge, said they to me. Well, how do you do this? Well, there's a judging school in East Lansing, and it'll be in 2 weeks. So I went home, and I said to Harry, there's a judging school in East Lansing, and you told me to go down and see my friends, and they said I should go and judge it. What do you think about this? And he said, if you want to do that, fine. Well, but how are you going to get there? And I said, well, I called up, and train fare and plane fare are about $25 and about $50. So I'm going to take the Greyhound bus. So I took the Greyhound bus up to this judging school. And I found it fascinating. When I came home, Harry said, what do you think about the judging school? And I said, well, maybe I'd like to become a low-test judge. That was the lowest level in those days. But never any higher. That is how I began. And I was very fortunate because I had these two people that helped me, advised me, and I was lucky enough to go up the ladder and lucky enough to be really involved in this organization. And I loved every minute of it. I've made friends around the world. No matter where I go, I've made such close friends and kept in contact with them. But I also see in this room so many friends and non-skating people. And I want to applaud them and thank them for really following our sport. And once they get involved, they're hooked like we're hooked. So I thank you all for being here. I thank all your friends.